filling that first man off the bench role player that the Jazz need.
We both wanted to pick a player that we decided, hey, let's talk about a player that can benefit from these fourth quarter minutes, because Jazz aren't going to stop doing this. If this happens again, they're going to take another fine. They're going to roll with it. They might put Larry Markin out there for 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and
yeah,
good. And then, but we're going to see these players, who's going to be able to get these meaningful minutes. We each want to take a player and kind of go from that. Who'd you pick?
Yeah,
and why?
One of the players that benefits most from these fourth quarter minutes is going to be Brice Sensabaugh.
Ooh, yeah, the guy who basically is the reason why we had the argument for why it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the guy who made the shot. I like it. I like it.
Absolutely. So
running line.
So you look at his stats from last season to kind of to this season, and he's playing almost 22 minutes per night, and he's taking about the same amount of threes, but his efficiency has kind of dropped from 42% to roughly 35%. But his 2-point percentages have climbed. They've went from 52 to 57. So he's taken more free throws, and he's shooting roughly 85% from the line. I think these late minutes are super important because the only thing keeping him off the floor right now is his defense, right? Like that's the only reason he's not out there. So, and I'm not saying that every player that's as offensively talented as Brice Sensabaugh has to be a lockdown defender, because that's just not the case, right?
Not in this NBA.
Exactly. And Donovan Mitchell is a prime suspect for that. We talked about it last week. He came into the NBA and his big thing was he's going to be a massive defensive player. He comes out, he ends up being just this offensive.
Doesn't play a lick of defense for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what I'm saying is that's not the case. But Brice needs to learn how to put himself in positions to help the team on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And it's all about effort. I mean, Brice Sensabaugh has great size. He's 6'6", 235. He's still young, 22 years old. And if he can just take his effort up in some of these fourth quarter minutes and really get productive, help in that plus minus, because it should show in the plus minus right away. When Brice is on the floor, the team gets better. But his defensive effort lacks so much that his plus minus just always looks right above zero. You know what I mean? It's like he's not necessarily helping. If he can get this effort up on the defensive side of the ball, these minutes are going to be really key to him, and like filling that first man off the bench role player that the Jazz need. We've got some great young players. Exactly. We need JC. But the thing is I feel like JC played better defense than Sensabaugh does in a lot of these scenarios. Like, not known for his defensive prowess, but JC took it personal when people said that he wasn't a great defensive player. And in the playoffs, JC came out and played some great defense. We had some great defensive minutes. He's obviously a flamethrower for the reason. He can get buckets at any time. And Brice Sensabaugh is capable of doing that same type of thing.
Yeah, he definitely has the measurements to be great defensively.
Yep.
And one thing I really want to point out about Brice Sensabaugh, this is something we're going to hit on a little bit more when we do a highlight for Keontae, but Coach Will Hardy's really opened up the mid-range game for these players.
Yeah.
Which it used to be for the longest time, which I think made basketball ultra boring to watch. It's either a three or it was at the basket, and didn't really put a lot of options for the mid-range game.
And that was the Quinn Snyder theory. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really kind of, it's not just Quinn Snyder, it's a league-wide thing.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, the two most efficient ways of getting a basket. And so I'm really glad to see that kind of opened up. The reason why I ask about whether or not he was drafted the same year is maybe what Coach Hardy needs to do this year with Brice is what he did last year with Keontae, which is going into the end of the year, locker room clean out, saying, hey, look, we think you can be great. This is the role you have on this team. You're going to be the first man off the bench. You're going to be the six-man year candidate for our team. We need you to step up on defense.
Yeah.
Put in the effort, stick around in Utah, and then do your off season.
Yeah, commit to playing here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we see what we can do. And I think that's exactly what could happen for this player. Because, like, you're right, dude. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's not like he's 6'2". You know, this guy has the size. He has the athletic ability to play defense. It's just effort, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it. Absolutely love the idea.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to either Brice Sensabaugh or Cody Williams. Do you have another player that you think the Jazz should be focusing on and getting those fourth quarter minutes to? We'd love to hear from you on your thoughts on that in the comments down below. As a reminder, folks, we did start a channel specifically for you, Utah Jazz, called Utah Jazz DNA. All of our Jazz content will be posted here first. So if you're watching this in our live stream, be sure to join us. If you're listening to this on our podcast on audio, be sure to check out in the description Utah Jazz DNA. It's a channel dedicated for all your Utah Jazz content.